thought that the only good thing about TikTok getting banned is that I'm not going to see AOC eating anymore. I don't know why she chose to record videos with herself eating, but maybe it's because she thinks representation is important, and rich, wealthy, and powerful people rarely manage to get the average Joe to feel represented by them. And so she filmed herself eating to be like, hey, look, I'm eating food, you're eating food, we're literally the same, right? She made a couple of videos eating French fries and stuff. Like, I generally don't know why. Especially when Twitch streamers were criticized for doing that. But, like, at least I understand the Twitch streamer, because, like, they're streaming for 8-10 hours a day. And so, like, they gotta eat. And they do it in front of a camera rather than taking a break, because if they take a break, then they lose viewers. So, you know, like, at least I get that point. But no, TikTok came back. And with TikTok, AOC came back. And she has a message of concern for the left. Let's hear it.
All the pieces together, because what this effectively means is that every social media platform, mass social media platform in the United States has been taken over by the right wing, with the exception of Blue Sky, but Blue Sky is still very small, relatively.
Well, what does that get to tell you?
So when I say put the pieces together, Elon Musk took over Twitter, and there's open reporting. It's pretty obvious as well that they have manipulated the algorithms. They've artificially manipulated the algorithm.
It's interesting because while the algorithm is indeed manipulated, it's also open source. Before, the algorithm was manipulated, but it was closed source.
Algorithms to boost right-wing content on X and to amplify harassment.
Am I being harassed? Why am I not being harassed if the harassment is being amplified?
Then you have Meta. So
Uh-oh.
you have Mark Zuckerberg, and I know we're on Instagram right now. Hi, saying that they're basically also bending the knee to Trump with their changes to fact checking.
It's kind of interesting because Mark Zuckerberg bends the knee to everyone. Like, Trump actually accused him that during the first administration he came to have dinner at the White House. I'm pretty sure that if in the next elections you had the leftist winning, Mark Zuckerberg is going to bend the knee to that.
Regardless on how effective that was in the first place. It's an open signal. And now TikTok is now saying, hey, we are agreeing, we will use our push notification system for all 170 million American users to promote Donald Trump.
And honestly, I generally don't know what happened with this ban. Like here's the way I view it. They tried to ban TikTok initially under the first Trump administration. Now, it's hard to tell if they genuinely meant it or not. Because here's the thing, and I said it in a previous video. There are a lot of cases in many nations, like where this was proven, that politicians sometimes are pressured to do something that they don't think it's a good idea, but the public demands it. And so you have TikTok coming into the United States, and a lot of people were genuinely concerned about privacy issues, and they were concerned that people will install it, that it's going to be like spyware. You have Twitch streamers like Ninja uninstalling the app and making a public spectacle out of it. But the politicians, you know, they decided to take these concerns seriously, and so they wanted to ban TikTok, and they drafted the legislation, which didn't pass the Supreme Court. And so what's important to know is that this is a tactic that politicians do a lot of times when they want to please the public, but also not give the public what they want. So the politicians have teams of legal experts. They also have connections. They also can actually, you know, under the table sometimes, they can ask the judges, it's like, hey, will this pass or not? Even if they're not supposed to do it, sometimes they do. And what happens when they want to have a situation where they please the public but don't give the public what they want is exactly this. Like, they will pass a legislation that they know is not going to be held up in court. And so from the outside, it looks like, oh, look, we're trying to ban it, right? Like, we passed the legislation. But when we send it to the courts, they said that it's not constitutional. So blame the judges, not us. If they literally wanted to ban it, they would have just made another draft that they would just change what was unconstitutional and push it again. Like usually when politicians want to pass something, they want to get something done, they get it done. And so my opinion is that they genuinely didn't have the will to ban it. They just wanted to show to people that they're trying. And so what happens later, it's like years later now, they want to ban TikTok again. And they don't actually ban it in the sense that if you're in America, you're not allowed to use it. They just want to ban it from the smartphones. So like the app stores wouldn't be allowed to have it. But like if you're an American, you could still use a VPN or you can still, download the app yourself from another place. It's just that TikTok decided to strong arm them because like this is what a lot of politicians don't get. You can pass legislation, but it's not like a game of chess. Like in reality, the pieces move themselves. Like the pieces don't want what's bad for them. And so like if you pass a legislation to ban TikTok, you have no guarantee that the public itself would try to circumvent it and install Red Note just to spite you. Like no one foresaw this. But what you could have foreseen is that if you don't convince the public, if you don't actually talk to them, if you make people feel excluded, they will spite you. And they will try to find ways around you to annoy you and to make sure that what you're trying to accomplish isn't going to get done. And in the case of TikTok, they decided, all right, well, we're going to shut down in America and we're going to blame it on the Democrats. And it's going to work wonderfully for the Republicans to basically get a lot of promotion here. And if it was the other way around, if Trump managed to ban it, then they would have praised Joe Biden for unbanning it. They basically created a golden opportunity of free PR for whomever was president in the White House. I don't think like the Chinese really give a shit about whether it's Donald Trump or someone else. Like all they wanted was to create this golden opportunity for them to get unbanned. And the reason for the Republicans to unban it is like, number one, I understand that the TikTokers, like when I said that you need to have compassion for people that have businesses and stuff. Like, even if you disagree ideologically, a business is a business. And at the end of the day, you're not getting rid of them. Like, they're still your citizens. They will still do other things. They will go to other platforms. They were paying, like, billions of dollars in taxes. And so, like, the economy wouldn't take a major hit. But it was a hit. And like, when you think about it, it's like, okay, billions of dollars in taxes from the content creators. But what about the auxiliary associated with the content creators? What about the makeup artists, the studios that are being rented to film like a lot of these TikTok things, the video editors, the audio editors? Like they're also getting jobs. And they're also benefiting the economy. So like banning the largest platform, well not the largest, but one of the largest platforms, it's a lot larger than Twitter, is bad for the economy, right? And so this is another reason why they decided to bring it back, and it's also the free PR. Now, regarding AOC spurging out, like, I'm sorry to say this, you still have platforms for the left. You got YouTube and Google. I mean, we saw Google's AI. They're definitely not right-wing. Twitch is still a lefty platform. Like, I don't know many right-wingers that are allowed on Twitch. And her complaint, instead of being maybe platforms shouldn't be ideologically oriented, maybe platforms should be like the phone company, like it used to be in 2016. Like, her grievance is that, oh, look at these rich people getting our platforms. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to try and get right-wingers to empathize at this point. Like, after getting banned for almost a decade for the most trivial shit imaginable. Like, you would say to a journalist to learn to code and you'd get banned. You'd see your friends getting banned for a meme. You'd see conversations that you can have in the open at a pub being suppressed and banned on social media, creating a culture where the European Union starts banning stuff because people are okay with it, because they experienced it on social media. And now you're basically saying, oh, well, you know what? It's wrong. And the problem is, like, she's not even saying it's wrong. The problem is saying, like, it's wrong because now they do it. She's not saying, like, okay, you know, like, let's come to the table and let's be for free speech. Because I would probably agree with that. Like, I have said on my channel since 2014, I haven't changed my mind, but a lot of people are upset about it. I said that I really despise censorship. Like, out of all the things, if there is something that I can get rid of, is censorship. And I started the channel in 2014. I was talking about it. And I was saying, like, the only way you can get rid of censorship is if ever the right wing gets in power and then both sides agree that it's bad. Like, you would need both sides to come to the table and agree that censorship is bad, and then you can get rid of it. And honestly, this is not to protect right-wing ideology. This is because genuinely I want to hear various ideas. Like, I want to hear what the left is thinking. I want to hear what right-wingers are thinking. I want to go to an internet like it was in 2014. I know that I'm being idealistic, but I don't think I'll ever have that, especially when you have someone like AOC coming up and being concerned, not because there's banning or there's algorithms or shit. It's like, no. Like, she is concerned simply because someone else is doing the banning. And the left is losing touch of the platforms. It's like, well, the platforms are kind of like the television station in Eastern Europe right now. Like, in my country, we have a public broadcast network, Romanian TV, and whomever is in power gets to decide the policy on the TV network. So, like, you will have, like, the television network just talking about left-wing news nonstop, right? Morning, dusk till dawn. And then elections happen, a right-winger wins, and literally the next day they're starting to talk about right-wing stuff. And it's the same journalists, the same people, all of a sudden they all become right-wingers. And this is what's going to happen with American social media. You have the Democrats in charge, or you're going to see Zuckerberg immediately being, it's like, all right, well, what are our policy on pronouns? You have the right-wingers in charge, it's like, all right, what is our policy on lewd shit? And then when you have both in charge, bipartisan, like very, very close in the House, maybe an independent president or some shit, it's like, all right, we're banning H-1B visas, and no one says anything negative about Israel. Right? Like, things that they both agree. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.